is how do we pray? Okay, because isn't that really what it boils down to? All right, fine. I know I should. I know I need to. Okay, I know the premise now, but all right, how do you do it? Well, fortunately, Jesus, once again, is gracious to us. Let's go back to our opening text. Let's read this time. He tells us, folks, straightforward. Matthew chapter 6, verse 5 through 13. And when you pray, not if, Jesus says, don't be like those hypocrites, for they love to pray standing in the synagogues and on the street corners to be seen by men. I tell you the truth, they receive the reward in full. And when you pray, not if, when you pray, go into your room, close the door, and pray to your Father who is unseen. Then your Father who sees what is done in secret will reward you. And when you pray, not if, when, do not keep on babbling like pagans, for they think they're going to be heard because they're many words, okay? Don't be like them, Jesus said, for your Father knows what you need before you ask Him. This then is how you should pray. From Jesus, our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come, God. Your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. And give us today, God, our daily bread. And forgive us our debts as we also have forgiven our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from the evil one. Now again, folks, we saw earlier that Jesus tells us, obviously he not only assumed that we would be praying with the phrase there when not if, but now he tells us not how to pray, but if you're paying attention, he tells us how to pray, listen, effectively and intimately, unlike the bad examples, the hypocrites and the pagans, okay? And so let's take a look at how we're supposed to pray by looking at how we're not supposed to pray. And the first way Jesus says we're not to pray to God is by a bunch of flowery words, okay? Now to pull that off, I need a couple volunteers here. What we're going to do is we're going to expose the foolishness of praying to God with a bunch of flowery words, okay, by looking at it through the eyes of another relationship. Because that's what it's supposed to be, right? Okay, and to do that, we need to help with the Garrett and Megan show. Come on up here, guys. Yay, Garrett, Megan. Yeah. All right. Now what we're going to do, Garrett here, we're going to have a couple scenarios here to expose this. Garrett is going to communicate to his girlfriend Megan using a bunch of flowery words, okay? Like we do with God. And you tell me how it sounds, okay? Ready?
Oh, Meganeth, how I love you. You are the coolest girlfriend from the bloodline of Robert and Rebecca. Hail Megan, full of grace, girlfriend of Garrett, blessed are you amongst girlfriends.
How many of you guys say that's a little bit goofy? All right, just a little bit there goofy, okay? Now here's the whole point. Hopefully you're starting to see the punchline here. Why then do we do that in prayer to God? Oh Lord, thou do I. Hail, King of the universe, I'll help. Right? Why do we do that to God, right? I mean, what do you think we're doing when we're doing that, right? I mean, we're impressing God with our flowery words. Especially when Jesus said not to. Matthew chapter 6, verse 5, let's read it again. Jesus says, and when you pray, don't be like the who? The hypocrites, for they love to pray, stand in synagogues, and being on street corners is be seen by men. In other words, they love using flowery words to impress people. Why did Jesus say don't be like that? What's the context? Because that is not a relationship with God. You don't communicate like that in a normal relationship, so why are you doing that with God? That's a bunch of dry, stale, stupid, boring religion stuff. And here's the point. If Garrett really did, honestly, that's how he spoke to Megan, what would that do to the relationship? It wouldn't happen anymore. That's right. Okay, that's right. Okay, so here's the point. How much more is it going to inhibit our walk with God? Have we forgotten what it's all about, folks? It's a relationship. The second way we do not pray, according to Jesus, is this, a rapid marathon of words. Okay, guys, come on out from your hiding there. A rapid marathon of words. And Garrett's going to speak to Megan like this, and you tell me how this sounds. Ready, go.
How you doing today? Do you want to, like, go out to a movie? I mean, it'd be really cool. Like, maybe we can, like, take a walk then and, like, go down near the river. And then, like, no, but wait. Then we could go to, like, the mall and, like, walk around and get nachos and go to Express. And then we can get shirts for me. Then I can get some new jeans. But then, no, not yet. Because then we're going to go in the car again. And then we'll drive and we'll go putt-putt. Because I'm really good at putt-putt. And then baseball. Like, I got this really cool... I was playing with Scott the other day, and Scott was really teaching me. No, it was really cool because, you know...
You don't know how hard it was for me to refrain from doing that example myself. But, but I passed the buck. Hey, folks, here's the point. Hey, is that kind of goofy or what? I mean, man, she couldn't even get a word in edgewise, right? Folks, how much more goofy is it when we do that to God? What are we trying to do here? We're trying to impress them with our fast and furious words, our rapid fire, right? And here's the whole point. If that truly was the only way that he spoke to Megan, was by, because everybody's in a hurry, cramming in as many words as fast as he can just to get the thing over with, wouldn't he be telling her that, you know what, ultimately, I'm doing my thing, but you're not important enough to spend quality time? What kind of message are we sending to God then when we do that in prayer? Especially when Jesus says this. Have we already forgot the text? Matthew chapter 6, verse 7. And Jesus said, and when you pray, here's the other thing you don't do. Don't keep on babbling on like the pagans, because they think that they're going to be heard because of their many words, okay? What's going on there, folks? When we try in prayer to God, try to cram in as many words as fast as possible in a short amount of time, because we're all in a hurry, go, 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 go. What do you think we're doing? We're babbling on and on and on and on and on and on to God. We're acting like a pagan. Oh, it gets even worse. I don't know if you've been there. Hey, I've been guilty of this too. I know it's a surprise. But then you start praying the same thing over and over again. Hey, praise God, at least you're praying. But listen, what are we doing here when we do this? You're praying the same thing over and over again. Hurry up, I've got to get it, I've got to get this, got to get all this thing is done. Then blah, you barf it out there and you go. But you do the same thing over and over again. Pretty soon it becomes mindless. Have you ever been there? You're praying it, but it becomes mindless. You don't even know what's going. You don't even know what you're praying about. It's coming out of your mouth and you're thinking about other stuff. You ever been there? I will never forget several years ago when I came across this babbling on like pagans. John MacArthur made this incredible statement. He said, "Do you realize that mindless prayer is offensive to God?" Mindless prayer is offensive to God. Why? Put it back in the context. Because we have a relationship with God, folks. And how would you like your loved one to speak to you like that? But that's not all. The third way we do not pray to God is this one, by a list or a formula of words. This one's whopper. What if Garrett were to come out of his hiding here and he were to speak to Megan like this? Ready, go.
Megan, I care for you so much. Megan, I confess that I am an unworthy boyfriend. How could you ever...
Seriously, reading off the script right now?
No. No, it's not. Beyond comprehension. Megan, I thank you. No, wait, that's step... Wait. For all that you have done and for being the best girlfriend ever.
Really meaningful.
Step 4. I humbly ask that you would provide a... I don't really know that word. But can we get McDonald's?
Huh? The word was morsel. All right. Now, if you want to consider McDonald's a morsel, you can. I guess it's cool. Good way to go off the cuff, buddy. That's right. Good job. All right. Okay. Hey, we don't do that with God, do we? We don't follow this step-by-step formula that we have to in order to speak our hearts to Him, do we? What in the world do we think we're doing, folks? Have we lost what sight? What did Jesus die on the cross for? A relationship. And Jesus taught us to pray like this. Let's go back to the text. I'll never forget the first time when it popped out at me. Matthew chapter 6. Let's read this again. Verse 9 through 13. This then is how you should pray. Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name, Jesus said. Your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us today our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we also have forgiven our debtors. And lead us, God, not into temptation, but deliver us from the evil one. Now here's my point, folks. Have you ever noticed, listen to me, please, have you ever noticed the length of that prayer? Exactly, Floyd. It's not very long, is it? Just a few verses. I'll never forget, I felt prompted by the Spirit of God to read that text again. Go back, read it again. And finally it dawned on me. I'm a guy, it took me a little while. And here's what I learned that day, folks. Isn't it funny how we will take this short? Straight to the point. Intimate, open communication with the Father. This example from Jesus. And then we turn that thing into this big old giant lengthy formula that goes on and on and on and on and on like the pagans. And then that's the only way we can approach God. What do you think that does to the spontaneity? Now here's the point, folks. If Garrett really did speak to Megan that way, okay, what would that do to their relationship? I mean, the only way he could ever talk to her was step by step. He's got this formula. It's got to be followed. You can't do step 2 before you do step 1. I mean, if he really did try to talk to her that way every time, what would that do to their relationship? Get her mad at you. That's right. Yeah. It's called dumpicus in the Southern Greek. Yeah, get it. See ya. Hey, folks, what does that do in our relationship with God then? If it's going to totally ruin all the spontaneity, have we really forgotten what it's all about? Oh, but that's not. We got one last thing to do. What if Garrett were to come out from his hiding, and if he were to communicate this now to Megan? Now, I didn't hear an answer.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. Give it up to it, guys. Good job. Got it going. Man, this is like 2 weeks in a row. Last week, we got an intern baptize his fiancée. No. This guy gets to propose. Can't take it. Now, Megan, if you said no, it would really ruin what I'm about to say. So I was taking a big chance here. But, hey, folks, I wonder if Megan still would have said yes if Garrett said, "Oh, Megan, wouldst thou thine thou marriest thine thee? Or I wonder maybe he could have tried this tactic. Megan, step 1. I adore you. Then why do we do that to God? Anybody starting to get the picture? Folks, the words we may be using when we do pray to God, it's just communicating with Him like a normal conversation. That's what it's supposed to be. The words we use may, in fact, be right, but the form and mode of communication might be very shallow, it might be very impersonal, it might be very dry, stale, stupid, and boring, and we wonder why there's an epidemic of churchianity. Folks, I'm telling you, it is high time we, the church, get back to basics, get back to real Christianity, get back to what real prayer is. It is a loving, intimate communication with the Heavenly Father. It's time we get back to being little children again and communicating to God from the heart, like these kids. Let's take a look.